Welcome into the Packers offensive breakdown. The Packers sneak away with a 24-22 win against the Texans. Offensively, they definitely could have done a lot of things better, and that's what we're going to dive into now. We'll just jump right into the film. Starting out with this first play, we're going to focus on Romeo Doubs up on the top. Him being back has been very, very helpful. And this is just going to be a simple kind of quick out against cover 3. So you're going to get a cover 3 match here from the defense. You're going to have deep responsibilities here. And it's actually cover 3 sky. The safety's coming down, and he's going to take the guy in the flat. We're going to see the snap here, play action, and Doubs pushing off there. A little bit of a brush by. Nothing that's illegal, right? Obviously, he makes contact there, but he is just trying to run his routes because he does have an outbreaker. And because this DB's hips, his back is towards the sideline, he then turns his hips to go vertical, right? It's just going to be a simple brush by, and just good timing here by Love. And a big play there in one of the first drives. Now, I know I've broken this down before, but this is a stick concept coming up next, and that's essentially going to be a double outbreaker, mandatory outside release on the down, or on the far side, the number 1 receiver. And this is something the Packers run quite often. We've seen it in my film breakdowns before, and this is just going to be one of those moments where number 5, their nickel, Jalen Petrie, does a good job of recognizing this. So he's going to recognize that stick and break on the ball, and you're going to get that tip for an interception in that first drive. So 4 plays into the game, not ideal for the Packers, but it is kind of a predictable play here. 3rd down, 4 yards, 3 yards. Right, it's going to be a short, quick pass, and they do a very good job out of a palms coverage here. So you've got cover 4. All right, you're going to have 2 deep safeties here, 2 deep responsibility here, and he's meant to be in the flat, right? And you've got your middle hook defender here. So you've got essentially that look, but because there isn't a lot of vertical threats, right, you just have this one vertical threat that is going to be taken by this defender, right? So this palms defender, even though they're playing quarters, right, he doesn't really need to carry him. So he's sitting on this out. And you'll see that play out here. So you've got Doubs on that breaker. You've got Petrie, who has already recognized the ball is thrown, right? But Stingley is playing in between, right? He's got his weight ready to shift for this outbreaker. And you've got, if that ball gets thrown over the top, that's going to be very, very tough, right? Because Stingley can play both of these receivers here as that palms defender, and unfortunately it just gets picked off. All right, this next play is essentially just a stick bow concept in the Packers offense. So stick bow, meaning one side is going to do a stick, the other side is going to do a bow. And a bow is an arrow route, which is essentially a sit route over the middle, and a basic behind it. And then you're going to have a stick flat. So you're going to have that stick that's basically going to be here, and then the flat here. Ideally, what you would like to see from this receiver here is that he's going to kind of box out any defender, but this is just going to be a good effort here by Kraft, right? So they match up in a zone, right? He's going to take that stick defender, or the stick route, and Kraft gets into the flat, get some extra yards for a first down. So well done there. Up next, we've got a big run here by Jacobs, and wants you to pay attention to this motion, because this motion helps move these linebackers in the middle, and we'll see it more from the end zone angle. But you've got Watson coming in motion, get the handoff, good blocks downfield, and a nice big run there for a first down. But you'll see it even more from this angle. So they have the shift already, then all these backers slide back, right? Because they're trying to follow this motion across the field. And what that does, it makes this block significantly easier for Myers, right? So Myers is going to get a good block. You get a good block here by Morgan as well, right? So you get a good flow here, and you get a nice cutback lane. And Jacobs is able to make those arm tackles miss, right? So you get a couple guys in here that are able to get an arm on Jacobs, but that's not going to be enough to bring him down, so he's going to make that a big run downfield. And this play might be one of the most impressive that we saw on the day. This is obviously the touchdown to Kraft here. All right, they're changing the play. They realize they've got this too high safety, and they're going to try to take that safety's attention and hit the seam over here on the other side. And that is just an incredible throw. But if we go back, we've got a little bit of a shake route down here at the bottom, right? Shake is essentially a post corner, right? So the idea, it doesn't influence this play, but the idea is to take the attention of this safety, right? If you got a post route here with outside leverage, that safety is going to take that post. So instead, you've just got this seam on the other side. You've got this too high look, and Love is going to be looking off that safety. He's looking to the left here. You can see it at the start. And then he's going to come back knowing he's got that seam. All right, so this is just a cover 2. And that backer doesn't get enough depth. And that safety narrowly misses the ball. You'll see it from the other angle. Just a great throw here. You've got that motion there, trying to diagnose what the coverage is going to be. Sees they stay with him. That 35 might be green dogging number 8. If he goes out, he'd go with him, but he's going to blitz. And just a great throw here over the fingertips of Bullock, who was actually playing very, very well against the Packers. All right, earlier I mentioned that bow concept, so you're going to get that same thing here, right? You're going to get an arrow route from Kraft here, which is essentially this little bit of a sit route with a basic behind it. So the basic plus arrow equals bow, and then you're just going to get some scramble outs. And I think that Love makes the wrong read here. So you're going to have a through up here. You're going to have essentially a slot fade down here, and you're going to have a hitch here by Jacobs. So, of course, Love is going to try to take the deep shot here. DN loses contain. He comes inside. Love is going to roll out and takes that deep shot to Reed. We do get a pass interference call, but I do not think that he should have thrown this. I think he should have thrown it to Kraft, who's got his hand up here. If he just puts a little bit of air on this, right, makes it a level 2 ball, so it's just outside the arms of this defender here. He's going to catch that. Reed's going to be deep downfield, given it a block, and this is going to be even bigger than that PI. All right, but instead, he takes that shot to Reed. He trusts him, and he's not able to come down with it. But I think that is a significantly bigger play if he gets it to Kraft and he lets Kraft run. All right, here we had a communication issue on the sideline. You can see D'Amico Ryans' toes up there at the top, but he's trying to get this defense set in the right coverage, and you just have an Aggie call, so all go. You're going to have a seam on the inside on both sides, and then you're going to have an outside go, right? And this is going to end up being against a Tampa 2. All right, so if you're only going to have 3 deep defenders against 4 verticals, it's not going to work out that well. And that seam draws just enough attention of Bullock, right? He's got that seam. He's got to worry about it. So it stresses out this DB down here. And they're able to get a nice completion there right before the front pylon and into the end zone. So well done there by the Packers offense. All right, next play, we've got play action. Deep pass here. Overthrown to Watson. His arm does get hit when he throws this. All right, he's got Daniil Hunter bearing down on him. And it's just going to be an overthrow here for a pick. And well done there. It's cover 1. All right, cover 1 hold. They've got a hold defender here. They've got the one high safety that's in the middle of the field. And I think Jordan Love doesn't do a whole lot to help his offensive line here. All right, the edge rusher is using a speed rush here to get upfield. He's already set wider anyways because of the tight end. All right, so you've got the tight end here. So that defensive rusher, that defensive end is going to be set wider. So that's going to make it more difficult for Tom to get out there. And all he could do here is step up in the pocket, right? If he steps up a little bit after he gets to his final step of the drop, right, that makes that turn significantly more difficult and forces him to get more into Tom rather than getting around him. But instead, he drifts here to the left, thinking he's got more time. Doesn't have that much time, gets his arm hit, pops it up, and turns the ball over for the second time. Here we've just got a great play that should have been a successful play, but unfortunately doesn't happen that way. Just a great route here by Jaden Reed. We got a post route here. Right, he gets this safety turned around. His hips are facing the wrong direction. As soon as he gets that, DB loses sight. So all he has to do is kind of flatten this out. So he flattens it, dives for it, and just when he lands, not able to come down with it. But you'll see from this end zone angle that it is a perfect ball here from Love. And just also look at the O-line protection, right? Passing off. It's only a 4-man rush, but they're winning all those blocks. And it is right in the hands of Reed. It just falls out because of the contact with the ground. So not able to complete the catch. What would have been a massive play, not able to happen on this play. All right, next play, we'll focus on Dobbs. He's going to run a glance route. Glance is essentially just a longer slant, and it's going to be 3 big steps. So he's going to take 3 big steps and then 2 short choppy steps, and he's going to cross the face. All right, so Dobbs is doing this all game. He's just winning on these slant routes, on these glance routes. All right, crosses the face of his defender. Hand is up. He's ready to catch and keeps the sticks moving. So just great job here by Dobbs running that route. Obviously, you've got the motion trying to keep their team disciplined. And then you've got Love as well. As soon as he gets to his last step, he's just turning and firing. So you do have pressure on this play as well. You're going to have the nickel that's going to be sending it. So this is going to create a challenge for the offensive line. All right, Petrie sends it. It looks like he's got an open lane. All right, so Love has to get rid of it. But Jenkins actually does a nice job of managing both of those defenders. And Dobbs makes another contested catch. I think he had 4 out of 5 contested attempts. 4 of them were catches. So well done there. Up next, we've got one of the explosive runs from Jacobs. So it's just going to be a big gain here on an inside zone. So you fake that screen, freezes 2 defenders on the far side of the field, gives you a little bit of a numbers advantage. But here we're just going to see Jacobs' vision and also good block here by Ryan, the right guard. Right, able to drive that. So entire offensive line all moving in one direction. Right, all moving to the left for this inside zone. And ideally, what you're looking at for an inside zone, you're going to be reading from one side of the center to the other side to the backside B gap, right? And this is what Jacobs does. Sees it gets clogged up, and then Ryan, with that push, creates a nice cutback lane. All right, this is just perfectly executed. You've got no one on Myers, so he can climb to this Mike, right? That Mike gets engaged, and that's just going to be a big run. And of course, you got Dobbs downfield, trying his best to get some extra yards there at the end. All right, here we go. We've got a touchdown here from Jacobs. This is going to be a little bit of a screen. That's essentially going to be a Texas route here on the outside. And not sure if that's necessarily designed, but they did try to get on the play before this. They tried to get a screen set up. And this time it looks like it's a little bit of a delayed screen. So he might just be the outlet here, but Jacobs he does a good job here of recognizing the green grass in the middle of the field, and he's able to speed through for a touchdown. So that's his first career receiving touchdown. He's got the record for most receptions without a touchdown, but now that record is kind of set in stone. All right, we've got another one of these deep digs here. So we're going to have from the outside here, that deep dig over the backers, right? And 43 is just going to make a nice play here. I just think Love needs to be a little bit more patient. His offensive line doing a very good job, and he sees this first window. All right, so you got that first window in between those two defenders right off the break. Normally, it's a good decision. All right, ball is out. He could hit him in that window, but it's not a perfect ball, right? It's more of a level one, a bullet ball, and that's going to get tipped. Whereas if he waits just a half second, if he hitches up here, steps up in the pocket for one hitch, and able to wait for this second window, that second window here, right, that's going to be a big gain because this DB, not even paying attention, his eyes are towards Watson. So if he's able to catch that, flatten that out, he's going to be running for some extra yards. But he felt that pressure coming off the backside, so he's going to let it rip for that first window. And unfortunately, it's going to be tipped and nearly intercepted, but you'll see it better from this angle. It is nearly a perfect throw, just a little bit too short. All right, so he's going to step in. He's going to rip this. All right, this is a bullet. But you can see that window, right? That first window, that's where they're trying to hit. I'm sure that's where the play is designed to go, within the hash marks. But if he waits a half second and gets it to the other side, that's a more difficult play for this guy because he's already moving. He's already drifting to his right. So if he waits that half second, that's going to be a completion and a big play. All right, continuing on this last drive, again, just looking at the leverage, right? This is going to be going to Dobbs. We've seen this. This is just going to be that slant route, right? That glance coming over the middle. Those three big steps, then two little steps, and cuts across. Able to make a nice catch there for a first down. Clock is running. So ball needs to get set. Again, good protection, right? Good enough. Gives him the time for this short pass. And able to get the ball down. Just continue to the next play. So here you're going to get some pressure. And you do end up getting an offsides here. And I really think that Love just needs to rip this, but I don't think he saw the offsides. I think they notice here on the sideline, right? He wants him to go deep, but look at that space for Watson. Right? The ball is already out, so obviously this backer, this DB, they're not pursuing Watson, but if Love had recognized, which I don't think he did, if he had recognized this was offsides and he takes a shot, that is 6. All right, but instead he's just going to check it down. First down, they're going to take the 5 yards, so it'll be 1st and 5. But that is an unfortunate miss because that could have been a big play, a big touchdown. But then again, you know, it's not that big of a miss because Packers end up winning this game. Not too sure how I feel about this play. This is going to be a shot play. I'll let it play through and then we'll come back to it. But you get pressure. You get a cover 0 look. Stingley focuses on 85, and we'll come back to that. But throws up a jump ball here to Wicks, and this should easily be a touchdown as well. All right, so he feels this pressure, right? They're showing cover 0. You've got all these guys playing depth at the sticks or just beyond the sticks, right? It is a 3rd down. They're trying to push them out of field goal range. You're going to get some good protection up front. All right, Kraft is going to stay in. All right, you don't have this 24. He's not going to green dog. He's not going to come in blitz because his guy is engaged here. And normally you would send him so then you have the numbers and it would just be 3-on-3 out here. All right, but they don't send him. So they have 7-on-7 in the box. All right, and each block is going to win. But Love is going to fade away here. And this could easily be a touchdown if this is recognized and he flattens him out. All right, but instead he's going to throw it up the field. It's going to get contested. But if he flattens him out, there is nobody in this part of the field. So there we go. Jump ball to Wicks. Incomplete. Dangerous throw, in my opinion. But we're going to see him recognize there's going to be pressure coming. Brooks does a nice job standing in, hitting number 5. And Love, in his traditional fadeaway fashion, throws the ball up. And unfortunately, fortunately for the Packers, it's incomplete, but that is a very dangerous play. And we'll just quickly get through to Dobbs. Again, another contested catch. This one, very confusing at the end, right? Everyone thinking that it was incomplete, but it was ruled as a catch. Time running down. They have to get the timeout. And then you end up getting to the field goal. All right, you've got McManus coming in, setting up. Bad snap. Obviously, evaluating special teams here. But snapper, this is going to be low, right? If you watch the hands of Whelan, MVP right there. Whelan, great job. Catching it, scooping it off the turf, because that could have been bad. Gets it set, kicks it up, and it's good. So, able to get it down. I think the Packers might have found a kicker. His first field goal attempt with the Packers ends up being a game winner. And there you just see Whelan doing a fantastic job with a bad snap. Gets it set in place. Looks scary for a moment, but makes it through the uprights. So that's going to do it for today. Packers definitely could have had a significant lead in this game. They had a ton of mistakes. 3 turnovers in this one. Didn't show the punt return because I'll show that in my defensive breakdown. But 3 turnovers. Weren't able to get any turnovers of their own. Squeak by with this 24-22 win. There are so many things to clean up. We've seen all the plays, the big opportunities that they missed out on. So this Packers team still hasn't even reached their full potential. They have the Jaguars next week playing in Florida. Hopefully that is going to be a win. I'm going to be diving into that film soon. And I will see you guys in my next video, the defensive video that should be coming out tomorrow. If you guys could take the time to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps me out so much. And I will be back with more Packers content in the future. Take care.